Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Monday. In reading through the New Testament, we find several passages that deal with how to behave as a Christian. One of those places is in Romans chapter 12. Paul has gone from the doctrinal side of this letter to the practical side in Romans 12. And he says in verse 9, "Let love be without hypocrisy. Abhor that which is evil, and cling to that which is good." Of course, the King James Version uses the word dissemination for hypocrisy. It means the same thing. It's talking about disguising our true feelings or trying to hide our thoughts and our intents from others, putting on some sort of act or affront before others. We know this goes on in our society every day. I mean, people spend their whole lives trying to hide from who they really are, trying to put on this facade of showing others that they're someone else that they really aren't. Jesus pronounced his woes against those hypocrites in the New Testament oftentimes. He uses the word hypocrites 17 times in his ministry and in his preaching. And while he talks about those who stand on the street corner and pray so that they might be seen of men, or those who contort their face whenever they fast so that others will know that they're fasting. Hypocrites, he said. So he says they are like whited sepulchres, which means it's on the outside, there is this beautiful monument. But we know that on the inside, it's just filled with dead men's bones. And he said, that's what your life is like when you live like this hypocrite. And Paul is telling the Romans here now that their love should be without hypocrisy. There might be some actions and some words that are hypocritical, but not our love. I mean, after all, Jesus said you should love your neighbor as yourself. And man, there's no hypocrisy when it comes to loving myself. As a matter of fact, Jesus told his disciples, you should love one another because this is the sign that others will know that you're my disciples if you have love one for another. So this kind of love should never be a pretense or just an act. He goes on to say, by the way, that we should abhor that which is evil. I really think he's talking about purity in our feelings here. Purity in our love and purity in the way that we deal with evil. Unfortunately, there is so much evil in the world around us today. Many seem to embrace some parts of it rather than to abhor it. And the word abhor really means to detest or loathe or even be repulsed by the evil that we see and hear all around us. We all need to work on that part of our lives, I believe. If only we could see evil in the way that a holy God does and look at this world through God's eyes and not our own. Paul goes on to say, cling to that which is good. Again, we're talking about those pure thoughts and pure feelings. Cling to that which is good. It may be hard to find. But when we do find something that's good, things in this world that are wonderful, as Paul describes them in Philippians, those things that are honest and lovely and of good report, we should embrace those things. We should hold on to those things and follow those things in our lives. So our love should be without disguises or make-believe. Our feelings toward this world should be detesting, abhorring the evil around us. And we should cling tightly to anything today that is good that we can see and that we can experience in our lives. That, he says, is how a Christian behaves.